What radio? The music you want.
With your host, Keys Dan.
Hubba hubba. RadioWhat.com.
What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan from RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, I encourage you to go to DJLittleRock.com. Check availability, get the free price quotes that you need, and maybe you can have me at your event. And I'm privileged and honored if you have me at your event. That means the world to me. I get to be with people at their happiest times, give them the happy times that, let them forget their problems for a little bit. Yeah, maybe your job or sometimes family life or sometimes just pressure from other areas is a little off-putting. And if I can provide a little entertainment, let you, sing some songs, karaoke jam, or just play music for you, the type of music you want to hear, whatever soothes you. I'll play some monk music if that's what gets you going. And I'm happy to do it. I had a wedding a while back that was heavy metal and rap. And it was and it was at the Spanish monastery down in Miami. And I was in kilt, and the rest of the wedding party, for the most part, was kind of renaissanced out. And that was cool. Which kind of leads me to who's on the podcast today. It's John Leland from the City of Hope Outreach. Today I had an event, and I'm doing this intro after the event is over, where I had an event over at the City of Hope Outreach on what is it? Brook? No. What's the well, I'll give you the address in the show notes. Or maybe on the outro, what have you. But it was at the City of Hope Outreach. They have a home that's available for homeless men that are struggling in the community, and they go there and they got a bed to sleep in. They got some food to eat. It's nice. It gives you a little dignity. Have some dignity. Here you go. We're serving it up right here at the City of Hope Outreach. And John Leland gave me a little insight on what the City of Hope Outreach is. Helping people helping people in the community. Well, let me let John Leland tell you more about the City of Hope Outreach. Let's get into that with John Leland, City of Hope Outreach, now.
Yeah, it seems like it. Seems like it's working all right.
Good.
Sitting here at the City of Hope Outreach. It's Keys Dan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. It's the What Makes You Famous podcast. And we had a little event for the City of Hope Outreach, and I got one of the leaders of the event, the man that put it together, at least this event. Introduce yourself for the people.
My name is John Leland. I am the newly elected Hope Home Director, so I'm in charge here at our men's transitional home, part of Coho, who hosted today's drug awareness cookout.
What is the drug awareness cookout? Why drug awareness?
Well, obviously drugs are very prominent in our day and culture, and specifically in the areas that we work in, and the men that we serve. And we're right next to a community that's rife with it. So we try to put on this cookout to raise awareness, point out that, hey, you don't have to use drugs, and love on these people, make connections.
You want to sit?
We can sit.
We can chill. Yeah.
We
can walk and talk with these lavalier mics and such.
Have a good chair.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got the Archie Bunker seat in the office. Very comfy. All right, John Leland, City of Hope Outreach. We did have a good event, a good-sized group of people. Thank you so much for having me out here.
Well, thank you for coming.
And I wanted to know a little bit more about the City of Hope Outreach, because I had a podcast yesterday with the studio downtown, Kate Carnahan, and she was just talking highly about you. And I know I've done a couple of events that you were involved in, but what is the City of Hope Outreach?
The City of Hope Outreach, we try to bring humanity to helping people. So there's so many different ways that people can get help, but they aren't always treated like people. They might be able to get your laundry serviced or a shower or some money for food, but too many times people look down on you. And we try to provide services and point people in the right direction while remembering and treating them like the human beings, the God-created Imago Dei human being that they are.
Yeah, I mentioned on the podcast with Kate Carnahan and the homeless situation that we have here in Arkansas. I think is panhandling a legal thing? Is that something that's allowed? Or
in Conway, it is recently allowed.
Okay. And I noticed that there's quite a few people on the corners, and it's my first instinct. I'm going to have to go with me. My first instinct is, wow, that guy looks able-bodied. He's standing on the corner in front of the Home Depot, and the job sign is saying, hey, there's jobs here. But then I have to pull back, and I have to say, man, I don't know his situation.
That's exactly right, and I stand in the same boat as you, thinking, or I have in the past, why aren't you doing something rather than just sitting there? But some may be that way, but a lot of times the opportunities aren't there. Whenever you can't present yourself in the right way, you can't clean up, you've spent multiple days outside, you smell bad, your clothes are dirty, it's really hard to get a job that way.
Oh yeah. I took a shower this morning, and you wouldn't know it because we spent about 4 hours outside in the front lawn.
Yes, sir.
In a nice Arkansas summer day. It must have been 95 degrees, and I am stinking. And there's no way I could present myself to anyone, let alone a possible job opportunity. And I know these fellas, and I guess you have ladies here as well?
Not in the Hope Home.
The Hope Home.
Not the Hope Home is specifically men. Coho in general, we try to serve everybody.
Right. Well, homelessness for men, I guess there's more men got to be homeless, or is it women?
I don't know the answer to that question. Okay. I know in other aspects that I've had my hands in other areas, women, they can get boyfriends and places to stay.
Right.
More than men, can have that availability.
Yeah, I guess men can get boyfriends too, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Yes, it is.
All right, John Leland, City of Hope Outreach. And is Leland?
Leland, yes, sir.
Okay, good. And we're sitting, all right, there's a facility next door to this home, and it says City of Hope Outreach. Is that a storage facility?
That is our main office. We call it the HIB. It is our Oakwood area that we host our academy programs for the kids in the Oakwood community. It's where we host meals, we have meetings there, awareness meetings and other sort of things. It's our main office.
So you host what kind of events for all walks of life, all ages?
Sure. We have the Peacemakers group, which is a group that its goal is to bring racial reconciliation. Typically, the white and black, but we have Hispanics that come too. They meet on a monthly basis to talk about their history and how things look from each other's sides and try to understand each other since there's such a cultural divide. But then we also do outreaches where we're doing monthly cookouts over there where this month I think we're supposed to be doing a potluck and just anybody can come and have some food. We do awareness meetings. Dr. Fletcher hosts meetings over there, raising awareness, trying to meet the needs of the Conway people.
Who's Dr. Fletcher?
Dr. Fletcher is the founder of the City of Hope Outreach.
Oh, okay. And he's still around?
Yes, sir. He is the executive director.
And how long has the City of Hope Outreach been around Conway, Arkansas?
I should be shamed for not knowing exactly, but I believe it's about 13 years.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good long time, and it seems like it's working out. Every time I see or hear of any kind of a community function going on in this town, Conway, Arkansas, City of Hope is generally involved with it, especially with the homeless population. Now, you don't just deal with the homeless. What other factions of people do you deal with, or is it just primarily homeless? No,
low income, homeless. We try to help everybody we can. Specifically here out of our Hope Home, we're kind of a hub for services to the Oakwood community. We have the HIB and they do services, but here, anybody in our community here at Oakwood or surrounding areas know that almost any time of the week they can come and get a meal. come up to the door, knock, and say, hey, can I get some food?
Now, you corrected me earlier before we started the podcast. I said, is this the shelter? And you said, no, it's what did you call it?
I call it a transitional home. Shelter implies I can come in for a night, have a bed, and leave. But our focus isn't just sheltering these men, but rehabilitating them, for lack of a better word, getting them off the street, back on their feet, debts paid, money in their pocket to move on to their next rental or owning of home, preferably.
John Leland, City of Hope Outreach. Now, we had an event today, drug awareness. What kind of drugs were we trying to be aware of and trying to get people off of? Generally, if you don't have to give names, of course, but specific drugs that people are having problems with here.
You see them all over here. The intravenous, the shooting up, and the smoking. You see it all. The police come through here daily. Looking for people. If it's a legal substance, it's in this community.
Now, you have been stationed here. What's the address?
The main office, the physical address is 608 East Robin Street.
East Robin Street. And you've situated yourself in this community. That it is a low-income trailer park.
Yes, sir.
And there's a lot of people that are struggling out there. And if there's a lot of people. All right, I've been there where if I don't get one paycheck, I'm homeless.
Sure.
I'm not going to make it.
Yep.
So paycheck to paycheck is something that I'm guessing a lot of these people in this area are living on, and even less so, they're behind a paycheck.
Absolutely.
Maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
And you help to provide meals for them as well?
Yeah. We work here at the Hope Home with Soul Food Cafe, who seeks to feed people on a weekly basis, and they give out food boxes to families. They come and drop food off here that we then can disperse to the community as they come up and need it. We also work with the Come and Go gas station. Their prepackaged food, when it gets close to time, they bring it to us so that we can give it out to whenever people come up. Because when it comes down to your rent, your electricity, your water, your food, a lot of times food is lacking.
Yeah, the Soul Food Cafe was another name that was mentioned in conjunction with Coho, and I think Bethlehem House as well.
Yes, sir.
And then there was the one on the Rock Church or City Church, where we had the Brookside event.
The ministry centers.
Ministry centers.
Huge.
And you all work hand in hand.
Yes.
Taking care of each other, taking care of the people of Conway, Arkansas. I can dig it, man. I can dig it.
More hands working together gets more done.
And the thing today, I mean, you made some hot dogs and hamburgers, and you had some chips out there, and there were people from across the street in the trailer parks that were just coming over and saying, "Hey, you got any extra food?" And man, that's got to be, that's embarrassing. You don't want to have to be begging for your next meal, but it's nice to know that there is this place where you can go.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel embarrassed.
Right, and that's something that people, even like myself, who's never had to think about. But to think having to ask for food is absolutely embarrassing and humiliating and dehumanizing.
Yeah.
And we try not to make it that way.
Standing on the corner, very dehumanizing.
Yes.
You don't think in school that, hey, I think I want to be on the street corner and beg for money.
Oh, you don't.
When I grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, I don't.
These are human beings just like you and me that, for one reason or another, are on hard times. And that doesn't make them worth any less than you or I am.
If do you have some time? Because we can dig back and how do you start in all this? How did John Leland get to be a fine, upstanding member of the community, helping people?
I have long known that I wanted to give back to the community. I wanted to work in a capacity not just to make money, but to help other people.
Yeah.
It took me years and years and years and years to finally accept that. Started college in 2004. Dropped out eventually, went back as a 30-year-old dad with 3 kids, 2 kids and then 3 kids. Graduated a year ago and took a year off to look for an internship that I could give back and see where I fit in this whole thing. Is it church work? Is it nonprofit work, community work? Where was it at? And my wife said, hey, the City of Hope Outreach, I've heard of them a few times. They've got an opening. Why don't you apply for it? Yeah. I put in an application, went over to the main office and talked to Ambra. And she looked at it and she's like, well, we need an intern over at our men's home. I think you'd be good at that.
Right.
And they asked me to come back. I started as an intern over here in October. And by January, they had me in charge of their work program called 10 Jobs. And then in the last 2 weeks, I've taken over the Hope Home.
Very good, John Leland. Because intern sounded like no money, and you mentioned you have a wife and kids, and no money's not good.
Yes, sir. We were blessed with my wife's at-home business. It started as a hobby and then grew into enough to support us.
Oh, you can promote her if you want. Millions of people could be listening to this podcast eventually.
She raises and shows miniature Australian Shepherds.
What?
Yes.
In Conway, Arkansas?
Well, just outside of Conway.
Oh, my goodness. See, you never know where these conversations are going to go.
Yeah.
There are interesting things that just pop up. Shepherds.
Yeah. It's renegademiniaussies.com.
Do it. Check it out.
You can find her on Facebook.
Go right now. Oh my goodness, John Leland. And I know this was a spur of the moment thing. You were cleaning up after the event here at the Coho, and you know, this was. Thanks for letting me provide the entertainment. And I feel like it doesn't do much for the people, but then I realize people need to be entertained.
They do.
Need to get away from their problems.
To be honest, thank you for showing up for coming and committing to this.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, you're the life of the party.
Oh,
people were coming over just to sing karaoke.
I'm happy about that. You know, if not, I'd be just trying to guess what people wanted to hear.
Yeah.
I could be your human jukebox. I'm not beyond that. But John Leland, City of Hope Outreach. Well, hasn't been a long podcast. Is there anything you want to tell the people about?
I mean, we could discuss the Hope Home in general if you wanted. Okay. We mentioned earlier, it's not a shelter, it's a transitional home. We bring guys in for ideally a year, 18 months. If it takes less time, if it takes more time, if they're in it, we're in it.
Okay.
The idea is, of course, generally speaking, homeless men who have nowhere to sleep. We have 6 beds for homeless guys, and this is a house. This is their home. These are their brothers that they're with. And so we bring them in, but they have to commit to a program, which is what makes us different than a shelter. It's not just come and sleep. It's come, better yourself, prepare yourself, get on your feet, and get moving. We require them to attend counseling. We require them to save money. They're required to put a little bit into the Hope Home, a little bit of what they bring into the Hope Home just to keep the lights running, a bit of an ownership of the house, if you will. But it's a full functional house. We have the kitchen, we have a living room, TV, bedrooms, closet, shower. It's their home. It's where they live, they sleep, they work. We meet with them on a weekly basis, one-on-one, talk about how things are going, making sure that they're keeping their end of the bargain and we're keeping our end of the bargain. Make sure we're both holding each other accountable and meeting the goals that they have and that we see for them.
John Leland, City of Hope Outreach. How many rooms are there?
Their bedrooms, 3 rooms, but one of the rooms is taken up by our in-house staff member.
Oh, very good. It's nice to have somebody in-house. Yes. Now, that in-house is kind of, it acts as a checker, maybe, to police the area a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Maybe?
Coho is open Monday through Thursday. I'm here during the day, Monday through Thursday, but I'm not here when it's evening. I'm not here necessarily on the weekends. Yes, my phone's on, I answer calls, I show up.
Right.
But with him here, he is able to more or less police them because there's arguments. I mean, not to treat them like children, but they're men from different backgrounds that we don't always get along. And people don't always do what they're supposed to do. He's here to love on them, be brothers with them, and keep them in check when other staff isn't here.
And the gentlemen are struggling with drug abuse, and that comes with its own problems as well.
Yes, sir.
Now, before the event, you did have somebody say a prayer. Is there a religious aspect to the City of Hope Outreach?
Yes, we are religious-based, Christian religious-based.
Okay. Any particular sect? Or?
No. We work with any who are willing to help. And even if you're unreligious, we don't care. If you're willing to help the low-income, the homeless, we want you to partner.
Yes, that's excellent. John Leland, City of Hope Outreach. What's the address again?
Main office, the physical address is 608 East Robin Street, Conway.
And how do they get a hold of you if they want to help the City of Hope Outreach?
You can check us out on Facebook. Our communications director is on there regularly. You can email me with the Hope Home directly at conwayhopehome@gmail.com.
Dig it. John Leland, you're the goods. Thanks for having me out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming out.
And you're right, it is much cooler inside.
Yes, the air conditioner works.
Yes. High five, John Leland in the house, City of Hope Outreach. Any last words for the people?
No, thank you, sir.
Well, there you have it. John Leland, City of Hope Outreach. Thank you so much for being on the program. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me out to your event, for honoring me, and for giving me the privilege of playing for the people. They sang so many songs. I had such a good time, and the little kids are running around. And the reason I mentioned the Renaissance is because we had King of Bubbles and I guess a magician. He had a long beard, kind of looked like Gandalf the Grey, and he was wandering around with his walking stick, and they were just blowing bubbles. Yeah, that's why I mentioned the Renaissance thing in the beginning of this podcast. Did you remember that? Did you remember that? I remembered that. Thanks again for listening to the program, What Makes You Famous. If you want to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. It's Keys Dan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.
Radio What? The music you want. Hey guys, this is Shelly G with a fast fact. The Beatles hold the top spot of album sales in the United States, 106 million, followed by Garth Brooks' second, 92 million, Led Zeppelin, 83 million, Elvis Presley, 77 million, and the Eagles, 65 million. Worldwide, the Beatles sold more than 1 billion records. Do you have a fast fact? Share it with us at Interactive Radio, RadioWhat.com. Hey guys, this is Shelly G. She said, what? Well, you are going to have to listen to the countdown to hear what I say. And make sure to keep listening to Radio What for more information and trivia. She said, what?